discuss about some neat applications related to spherical refracting surface. So first application, magnification at spherical refracting surface. Already you know that what we mean by magnification. Magnification is nothing but it is the comparison of size of the image to the size of the object. Magnification at the spherical refracting surface. First we are going to discuss about the lateral magnification, and also it is called transverse magnification. What is lateral magnification or what is transverse magnification? Already you studied about this one. So what is lateral magnification? It is the size of the image to the size of the object, or height of the image to the height of the object. First one we are going to discuss that is a lateral magnification, and also it is called transverse magnification. Lateral magnification. And also it is called transverse magnification. So in case of spherical mirror, we studied about the magnification. What is magnification? It is the comparison of size of the image and size of the object. But now we are going to discuss about magnification related to the spherical refracting surface. But in case of a mirror, it is the magnification is independent of refractive index. But in case of spherical refracting surface, the magnification depends on refractive indices of two media, rarer medium and denser medium. So what is that relation we have to derive? What is lateral magnification or what is the transverse magnification? So lateral magnification is nothing but it is the height of the image to the height of the object. So m is equal to hi by ho. What is hi? Hi is nothing but height of the image. Ho is nothing but height of the object. Now let us draw the diagram. It is a spherical refracting surface. Now this is I will take denser medium and its refractive index L2, and it is rarer medium and its refractive index is L1. So in your material they taken mu1 and mu2. Anyone you can take here. So it is the principal axis. What is principal axis? The line which is passing through the pole and center of curvature. Pole and center of curvature of the spherical refracting surface, and which is extended on either sides. Next, I will place the object here. It is an object. Height of the object can be taken as ho. Then we are going to consider two rays here. Two rays coming from the object. So one ray which is incident at the pole. How it is incident? That incident obliquely with an angle of incidence, that is I. Angle between the normal, it is taken as normal, and it is incident ray. Angle between the incident ray and normal can be taken as angle of incidence. So the light traveling from which medium to which medium? Rarer medium to denser medium. The light bends towards the normal. The light bends towards the normal. The refracted ray bends towards the normal in the denser medium because of decrease in speed of light. Now it is angle of refraction, that is denoted by R, angle of refraction. And one more incident ray that is passing through the center of curvature, and that is passing along the normal. If the light passing along the normal, it passes without any deviation, because here Snell's law is not applicable. So where these two refracted rays will be meet, at that position image of the object is formed. Here the image of the object is formed. Then I will take height of the image can be hi, and it is center of curvature. The ray which is passing through the center of curvature, that passes without any deviation, because the light incident along the normal. When the light incident along the normal, the light passes without deviation. So why only we are going to take this is a normal? Because we are going to draw the normal from center of curvature to the spherical refracting surface. Now it is passing through the normal now. It passes without any deviation. Now it is angle of refraction R and it is angle of incidence I. by using Snell's law. What is Snell's law? Using Snell's law. Using Snell's law, n1 into sin I is equal to n2 into sin I. n2 into sin I. Okay. But for the small angle, sin I is I and sin R is R. Then we can write n1 into I and it is n2 into R. Then how to find how to find angle of incidence and angle of refraction. So the distance of the object from the pole of the spherical refracting surface is object distance, that is u. It is u now. The distance of the image of the object from the pole of the spherical refracting surface, that is v. It is v. Okay. Then what about I? How to find I here? Opposite side divided by adjacent side by using tan. Sin and tan are both, sin and tan both are same for the small angles. Then I is equal to how much here? Opposite side divided by adjacent side. What is opposite side here? HO. What is adjacent side here? U. So we can write N1 into I is nothing but HO. I is nothing but HO by U. Opposite side divided by adjacent side. That is equal to. Then what about this one? R is nothing but N2 into HI by V. HI by V. So what we require now? We require HI by HO. Then I will take N1 by N2. I will take N2 to the left hand side and V to the left hand side, that is V by V. Then what I will take HO to the right hand side, that is HI by HO. Then what is HI by HO? HI by HO is nothing but it is a lateral magnification or transverse magnification, that is M is equal to N1 divided by N2 into V by U. So it is the magnification in terms of refractive indices and image distance and object distance. It is the formula for lateral magnification or transverse magnification. Now second one, longitudinal magnification. What is transverse magnification? Transverse magnification is the ratio of height of the image to the height of the object. In this transverse magnification, we are going to place object normal to the principal axis. We will get a transverse magnification. If the object is placed along the principal axis, we will get which magnification? Longitudinal magnification. Then what is longitudinal magnification? It is the ratio of length of the image to the length of the object. See here, this is an object. I will take this object, distance of the object from the spherical surface, that is u1, and it is u2. Then it is u2 now. This side can be taken as u2 and this side can be taken as u1. So u2 minus of u1 gives the length of the object. u2 minus u1 gives the length of the object. So and v2 minus of v1 gives the length of the image of the object. Then how to define longitudinal magnification? Longitudinal magnification is nothing but it is the ratio of length of the image to the length of the object. Length of the image already I said v2 minus of v1. Okay. Length of the object is nothing but u2 minus of u1. So that is dv by du. So we have to find dv by du. How to find dv by du? On differentiating the spherical surface relation. On differentiating what is spherical surface relation? That is m2 by b, means refractive index of the image space to the image distance, minus n1 by b, refractive index of the object space to the object distance. That is equal to the difference in refractive indices of image space and object space divided by radius of curvature. This is the relation. Then differentiating this relation with respect to u, then we will get dv by du. So differentiation of left hand side with respect to u, that is n2 by v minus of n1 by u, that is equal to, this factor is constant, this right hand side is constant because the refractive indices for the given media are constant, the radius of curvature of the spherical refracting surface is also constant. Differentiation of any constant is always 0 because it does not change, that is why it is 0. Then differentiating this one, I hope already you studied about differentiation. Then n2 is constant now, I will take outside. Differentiation of 1 by v with respect to u. Differentiation of 1 by v with respect to u. Then here n1 is constant, I will take outside. Differentiation of 1 by u with respect to u. Differentiation of 1 by u with respect to u. What is the differentiation of 1 by v with respect to u? Then how to find it? Already we know that what is the formula? Differentiation of x raised to n with respect to y, that is n into x raised to n minus of 1. By using this formula we are going to differentiate. But here x and y both are two variables. Then it is dx by dy. Okay, dx by dy. X changing with respect to y. Then using this one, this equation, I write d by du 1 by v. So differentiation of 1 by v with respect to u, that is I will take v to the numerator plus v raised to plus 1 is there now, that comes to the numerator, then it is v raised to minus 1. Then use this formula. At the place of n, minus 1 is there, I will write minus 1. At the place of x, what is there? V is there, I will write v. Again at the place of n, minus 1 is there, minus 1, minus 1. Then it is dv by du. Then it is minus of 1 by v raised to plus 2. Because v raised to minus 2 is there, whenever we are going to take this one to the denominator, that becomes v raised to plus 2. Then it is dv by du. Then it is a differentiation of 1 by v with respect to u. What is the differentiation of 1 by v with respect to u? That is n2 minus of 1 by v square dv by du. Then what is the differentiation of 1 by u with respect to u? That is minus of 1 by u square. Minus into minus plus, so that is plus n1 by u square. That is equal to 0. Because the differentiation of 1 by u with respect to u, that is why differentiation of x raised to n with respect to x, that is n into x raised to minus of 1. Differentiation of x with respect to x, again it is 1. Okay. So by using that concept we are going to derive this one, that is n1 by u square. Then I will take, this is plus into minus, minus. Then I will take this one to the right hand side. That becomes, then it is n1 by u square, this side. It is at left side only. I will take this one to the right hand side. Then it is plus into minus, minus. I will take minus to this term to the right hand side. That becomes plus. That is plus n2 by v square dv by du. Then we require dv by du. dv by du is equal to, dv by du is equal to, that is n1 by n2. I will take n2 to the left hand side and v square to the right hand side. n2 is in numerator here, this side it comes to the denominator. Here v square is in denominator, this side it comes to the numerator. That is v square by u square. Then what is the dv by du? dv by du is nothing but m, that is longitudinal magnification. And here sign convention based on the, we are going to using this sign convention, we are going to find the magnification. Okay. So next dv by du is nothing but m, then n1 by n2, it is v by u whole square. What is v by u whole square? v by u whole square is m square. I will take it is ml, longitudinal magnification as ml. Then ml is equal to m square into n1 by n2. Okay, what is m? Where m is nothing but b by u. Okay, but b by u square is there, na? That is why it is m square. But here m is a transverse magnification, because we know that m is equal to minus of b by u is equal to hi by ho. It is nothing but a transverse magnification, where m is transverse magnification. Okay, these are the magnification produced at the or magnification at the spherical refracting surface. What are those? Transverse magnification and longitudinal magnification. Just you have to remember the formulas. Already you know that what is the transverse magnification formula and what about longitudinal magnification formula. By using these, we are going to solve some neat questions. Okay, that is why we are going to derive these two formula. Here derivation is not important. Here what is important? The end formula is important. Now second neat application, that is speed of the image and object along the principal axis. If the object is moving along the principal axis, image also moving along the principal axis. So we have to find the relation between the speed of the object and the speed of the image of the object along the principal axis. So how to find speed? Again it is a neat application by using the relation, using the spherical surface relation. What is the spherical surface relation? That is m2 by d minus of m1 by u. That is equal to m2 minus of m1 divided by r. Already you know that. But here now, what is image speed and what is object speed? So how to define the speed? The change in position of the image with respect to time. That is called image speed. Then what is object speed? The change in position of the object with respect to time. That is called object speed. Means we have to differentiate this equation with respect to time. Differentiating above equation with respect to time. Differentiating above equation with respect to time, you will get image speed and also object speed. So differentiation I will do directly here. Already you know about the differentiation. Then Np is constant here. Differentiation of 1 by v with respect to t. That is differentiation of 1 by v with respect to t. Then minus. Here n1 is constant, means refractive index of the first medium is constant. I will take outside. Then differentiation of 1 by u with respect to t. That is equal to differentiation of this constant with respect to time is 0. Why? Because here even there is a change in time, the refractive indices of whole media constant and also radius of curvature of the spherical refracting surface is also constant. That is why the differentiation of any constant with respect to time, it is always 0. What is the differentiation of 1 by v with respect to t? That is minus of 1 by v square dv by dt. Minus of 1 by v square dv by dt. So already I said about differentiation. Then what is the differentiation of 1 by u with respect to t? That is minus of n1 minus of 1 by u square du by dt. That is equal to 0. Then minus into minus plus, it is n2 by minus of n2 by v square dv by dt. What is dv by dt here? The rate of change of position of the image is called image speed. What is du by dt here? The rate of change of position of the object, that is called object speed. Then minus into minus, that is plus. Then n1 by u square, that is du by dt. That is equal to 0. I will take this negative side to the, this negative term to the right hand side. That becomes positive. n1 by u square, n1 by u square, that is du by dt is equal to, minus becomes plus, that is n2 by v square, that is n2 by v square dv by dt. Then what is du by dt? Du by dt is nothing but object speed. dv by dt is nothing but image speed. I will write n1 by u square do, n2 by v square vr. Okay. So what about vi? Vi is the speed of the image. What about vo? So vo is the speed of the object. Then vi is equal to, then I will take v square to the left hand side, that is v square by u square, because v square is in denominator, this side that comes to the numerator, and n2 to the left hand side that comes to the denominator, that is n1 by n2 into vo. Okay, it is the relation. So n1 by n2 into v by u whole square into vo. So what is n1 by n2 into v by u whole square? That is longitudinal magnification. So in a previous case we discussed about this one only, longitudinal magnification. I will write it is ml. ml into v. It is vi. So this is about the speed of the image and speed of the object and longitudinal magnification, and it is the relation between the speed of the image and speed of the object along the principal axis. Next. Now third unit application, that is principal foci. For the spherical refracting surface there are two principal focus, they are called principal foci. One principal focus is at the side of object, another principal focus is at the side of the image. Now let us discuss the principal focus at the object side and the principal focus at the image side. This is a spherical refracting surface and principal axis. Now there is an object placed on the principal axis. The rays diverging from the object falls on the spherical refracting surface. So how the rays incident here? The rays incident obliquely. So the refracted ray pass parallel to the principal axis. So when the refracted rays pass parallel to the principal axis, the image is formed at infinity, because they never converge at any point here. That means image is formed at infinity. So this point I will take F1, first principal focus. Then what is first principal focus here? That first principal focus can be determined by using the object distance. Okay. So what is image distance here? Object distance can be taken as F1 and image distance can be taken as infinity, that is b equal to infinity. Okay. So how to find this one? By using the relation. What is the relation? n2 by v minus of n1 by u, that is equal to n2 minus of n1 divided by r. So for this diagram, what is v? V is infinity, then n2 by infinity is 0 minus of n1 by, what about u? U is nothing but the distance of the principal focus from the pole. It is called focal length. That is, I will take f1. So this u can be taken as f1, then that is equal to n2 minus of n1 divided by r. Then f1 is equal to, what about f1? f1 is the first principal focus. f1 is equal to minus of n1 into r divided by n2 minus of n1. Then what is first principal focus? So first principal focus is that it is the position of the object when the image is formed at infinity. What is first principal focus? It is the position of the object when image is formed at infinity. Okay, it is called first principal focus. It is the first principal focus. What is first principal focus here? It is the position of the object when image is formed at infinity. That position of the object is called first principal focus. Why it is negative here? Because it is at the left side. Left side means it is along the negative x-axis. If it is along the negative x-axis, we have to take it as negative. Object distance can be taken as here negative. Then what about second principal focus? It is about first principal focus. Now we are going to discuss about second principal focus. second principal focus is at the side of the image. So I will draw the diagram. Here the rays coming from the object which is at infinity from the pole of the spherical refracting surface. These rays are parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, the refracted rays converge at a point in the denser medium. Now it is called second principal focus. So what is second principal focus here? It is the position of the image when the object is at infinity. So what is the position of the image? Position of the image can be taken as f2. This can be taken as f2. What is f2 here? Distance of the second principal focus from the pole of the spherical refracting surface, that is f2. Then what about v now? V is nothing but here f2. But what about u? U is nothing but here infinity, because object is at infinity. So what is the second principal focus? Second principal focus is that it is the position of the image of the object when the object is at infinity. So after refraction, where the refracted rays will be meet, at that position image will be formed. Then again by using the relation, what is that relation? N2 by V minus of N1 by U, that is equal to N2 minus of N1 divided by R. Then again by substituting the values, what is V? V is nothing but F2, that is at right side now, that is why it is positive. So N2 by F2, and it is N1 by U. U is infinity. Any number divided by infinity is 0. That is I will take N2 minus of N1 divided by R. Okay. So now we need F2, means second principal focus. F2 is equal to N2 into R divided by N2 minus of N1. N2 minus of N1. It is second principal focus. It is the second principal focus. Then what is second principal focus? It is the position of the image when the object is at infinity. Remember this one. What is first principal focus? It is the position of the object when image is formed at infinity. What is second principal focus? It is the position of the image when the object is at infinity. Okay. By taking the ratios of them, the first principal focus and second principal focus, what we will get? I will take it is equation 1 and it is equation 2. By taking the ratios, f1 by f2 is equal to f1 by f2 is equal to f1 by f2 is equal to, means the ratio of left hand side is equal to the ratios of right hand side. So what is the right hand side here? Minus of n1 into r divided by n2 minus of n1 divided by right hand side of this equation, n2 into r divided by n2 minus of n1. What gets cancelled here? R by n2 minus n1, r by n2 minus n1 get cancelled. What left now? That is f1 by f2 is equal to minus of n1 by n2. It is the ratios. Then I will take this one to